As Vladimir Putin stunned Western capitals by claiming the capture of Pokrovsk, Kyiv issued its first indirect response, carefully choosing its words while signaling concern over Moscow's narrative. On December 1st, the head of Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation delivered a public warning, framing the latest Russian announcements as part of a broader information battle. Andriy Kovalenko cautioned that the Kremlin would now escalate its propaganda efforts in order to influence ongoing peace talks and shape global perceptions of the war's trajectory. His statement came just as Russia was trumpeting its alleged capture of Pokrovsk, a city long described by both sides as the gateway to Donetsk because of its strategic location. Russian commanders claimed their troops had finally taken control of Pokrovsk on December 1st, after months of grinding assaults aimed at breaking Ukraine's defensive lines there. Before these claims, Pokrovsk had served as a major logistics hub for Kyiv and was central to efforts to protect the remaining, unoccupied parts of Donetsk region from further Russian advances. In its latest briefing, Kyiv asserted that parts of the town of Vovchansk remained under Ukrainian control, but notably did not directly address Russia's claims about Pokrovsk. Kovalenko said, quote, "Over the next few weeks, the Russians will make many attempts to exert pressure on the front line and accompany this with loud statements. All of this is done exclusively for Western audiences and to raise the stakes in diplomacy," unquote. On November 30th, Putin had been informed by his top generals that Russian forces had captured both Pokrovsk in Donetsk and Vovchansk in Kharkiv, a message the Kremlin quickly publicized. During our meeting on October 25th, Valery Nikolaevich, commander of the Center Group of Forces, reported that the armed forces of Ukraine had been surrounded in the Krasnoarmeysk-Dimitrov agglomeration. Valery Nikolaevich, did I understand the Chief of the General Staff correctly that the city of Krasnoarmeysk is in our hands? Yes. Please report. Troops of the Center Group continue to carry out tasks to defeat the enemy in the Dnipropetrovsk direction in accordance with a plan approved by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation. In the Krasnoarmeysk direction, the Second Army, with the forces of the 30th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade, the 506th, 439th and 1435th Motorized Rifle Regiments of the 27th Guards Motorized Rifle Division, completed the liberation of the city of Krasnoarmeysk. Currently, the search and destruction of the remnants of small enemy groups attempting to hide within the city limits is underway. Moscow showcased these gains just hours before a high-level US peace delegation arrived in the Russian capital, timing the announcement to maximize political impact. The American team, led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, will begin talks on a revised ceasefire and peace framework meant to address Ukrainian and European concerns. This updated plan followed heavy criticism of the original US draft and was amended after input from European leaders and Ukrainian officials to bring it closer to Kyiv's stated red lines. For more than a year, Pokrovsk had functioned as a fortress city where Ukrainian forces held off repeated Russian attacks, turning it into one of the most fiercely contested points on the map. The logistics hub endured constant bombardment and assaults because Moscow saw it as the essential doorway to pushing deeper into Donetsk and consolidating control of the region. In recent weeks, reports indicated that Russian troops had been steadily shrinking Ukraine's defensive pocket inside the city, block by block, before announcing their claimed breakthrough. Vovchansk, located in Kharkiv Oblast, was first captured by Russia in 2022 and then retaken by Ukrainian forces during their successful counteroffensive later that year. Russia renewed its assault on Vovchansk in May 2024, subjecting the town to heavy shelling and fighting once again and leaving much of it heavily damaged for a second time.